Hi guys, this is James. Welcome to another video from me. I made actually a couple of hours ago. I made a very interesting discovery by using a mobile app on my smartphone called YayCam. Maybe you guys heard of it, and I discovered something very astonishing, interesting when I put the fill in on the app YayCam filter retro look 1930 on my smartphone, and what I have discovered was really something astonishing, amazing, which I will come to that part a little bit later on. The first thing I want to go into it is about the colors. As you guys know, I did many videos about the prism that diffracts the light, the sunlight, right? It diffracts the sunlight, and by breaking the sunlight in fractions, you will get colors like this. So you see red, ultraviolet, purple, green, yellow, orange, red, etc. So these are the colors that's hiding in the white light from the sun, but we cannot, our eyes cannot for some reason perceive it, so we just see it as a white light, right? So that's what you can do with the prism glass. You diffract the sunlight and you will get this as a result. You can try it even at home. You can buy a prism glass, it's like $8, $9, and you see then these wonderful colors. And we cannot see those colors, we just see it sometimes. They are similarities with the rainbow, but this is much more intense with the prism glass. So you can really see that you can break the light, the white light in fractions, and you see all these beautiful colors. Now, as you know, I did myself research, and a couple of weeks ago I did also videos. So this is actually I took a photo snapshot of the sunlight. It looks like this, right? So you see this is white, yellow, red, orange, green, blue, ultraviolet, purple. So this is how the light from the sun looks like when you diffract it with a prism glass. So that's the first story. So I was getting interested in those colors and sunlight and bending and fragmentation, etc., etc. So let's go back to the first story I was telling you, is about this app called YayCam. You can download that app on the smartphone, and you can make photos with it, or you can film it with that filter from 1930 called Retro Filter 1930. And what happens, what happens is, where's this other paper? I don't know if you can see it that far, but it's a difference. Let me go closer to camera. So this is the original colors, right? And this is the color with the YayCam Retro 1930 look. So, I hope you see that. This is with the YayCam Retro look 1930, and this is the original color of the colors of the light. Now I find it quite interestingly, but when I looked closer to it, I figured out that three colors were remarkable, like the dark color, like the darkness and the light. So I figured out, if I put that retro cam on it, what do I recognize, which is this, on the colors, right? Which they look like this, original, but when I took with the YayCam 1930 filter, it looks like this. So I could really see nothing, just like what is dark and what is light. Those are two main colors, what is dark and what is light. So I figured out, when I looked closer to the photo, that it shows me that what is blue, maybe you see it like right here, what is blue and what is red and what is purple, there were no difference to dark. So dark was actually the same thing like blue, purple, and red. So there was no difference. There is no difference. The only difference what you see is dark and light. White, dark and white. So I find it quite interesting that the dark spots, you cannot say which one is now black, you could not say which is blue, you could not say what is red, and you could not say what is purple, because all three colors look all like black, the color black, and black looks like all those other three colors, like red, blue, and purple. So I wrote here so you can see it better. So what I seen before as a color like this, right? I see now that those three colors has no difference with darkness. They looked all the same. They look dark. With this filter on 1930 with YACAM, they look all dark. The only thing what was light was the white and the yellow and the green. So white, yellow, and the green were light, the light spots when I had that filter on, and blue, red, purple were the same like dark. There was no difference. So then I was thinking further, and I was thinking about, so maybe color has something to do with density. And when I've seen that, like blue, red, purple equals dark, and dark equals blue, red, purple, and light equals white and yellow, and white, yellow, green is light. So there were two facts that only dark and light exists. And dark and light is actually no color. It's just we named it like dark and light. Now comes the interesting part. As we all know, every day when we outside in the sun, we look up, when we look in the sky, we see always the blue sky, right? In the daytime. Now I'm questioning and I'm claiming, is it really blue? Because I think that in reality the sky is not blue, the sky is dark. I think that the sky is always dark. But because of the light, it makes it blue, but it's still dark. So when you look at night, you see the dark sky, and this is the origin color of the sky all the time. It doesn't matter if it's day and night. But the sun, when it arises, it makes them blue. It creates the blue sky, and you perceive it as blue. But in reality is that the blue is just a phenomenon perception, because the darkness, which you see at night sky, is still the same at the daytime. But through the light, we see a difference. It creates these color differences. And it makes so sense, because it's really amazing how everything came in together. I know a quote, it says, and the light shined in the darkness, and the darkness has not comprehended it. And also what is interesting is that sunrise and sunset is happening in darkness. So what I'm going to try to tell you is that when you look outside, when you go outside in daytime and look in a blue sky, but what you perceive it as blue is actually black, dark. But through the sun, it gives you the perception that you see blue, right? But the thing is, we cannot experience color. Colors is no experience. We only know what is dark and what is light. These are the only true colors that exist. It's not a color. We just call it dark because there is no light. If you're in a room and you switch off the light, you see dark, right? But when you switch on the light, you see the different things what we have colored. But if you switch off the light, it's dark, then anything would look the same color. But because of the light, we can now make differences on the colors. But what I want to go back to it again is that dark is all the time, 24 hours, 7 days. And because only, and thank God for that, because of the light, we perceive it as blue in the daytime. Now I want you just to imagine you go out in the daytime and you look in the blue sky, but you actually realize it's dark. Because if you put it all down, those two colors only exist, dark and the light. Any other colors, we have invented it. We have to create it. So it's very, very interesting. And then another thing what I want to show you is I wrote something here down. And he's blind, and he has never seen anything. And he makes some statements what I found really quite interesting. He says, try to explain color to me. The blind don't understand it because he hasn't seen it. And then he says, for those who never heard or has no concept, doesn't know what those things are. Interesting, right? And then he says, vocabulary of language, that doesn't mean anything to me when it says describing a color, because he doesn't see, he has never seen it. And vocabulary of language, that doesn't mean anything to me. And another thing is people explaining a sense with another sense. And then he says, if someone cannot hear at all, and you tell him, how does the ocean sounds, or how does the bird sounds like, he don't know because he never heard it. So you can tell him anything, the sound sounds like this and that and this and that, and then you can believe it, but you haven't seen it. And then another interesting claim what he said, and again, he's blind and he never has seen anything. He says, I know red is fire, or a stoplight is red, or when someone says you are in the red zone, like accountants, you're in the red numbers, but only from hearing about it. But I don't know what it looks like. And the interesting thing what he also says is the same color means two completely different things. How can that be? I don't get it. And he says water has no color. So I found those quotes really interesting. So what I want really to get it is that the real color, it's not even a color, we gave it a name, color, but the only two things what really exist are dark and light. What we see because of the light, blue, red, and purple, is actually dark. So dark is blue, red, purple, and blue, red, purple is dark. Purple, violet, violet is the same thing. Violet, purple, red, blue is dark. They won. And then what you see as a light is, we name it white and yellow and green. So if you try really to find those dots together, like looking at your surroundings, looking at the colors and all that stuff on your materials, on the objects, what you see in your surroundings, and when you look up in the sky and you see blue, it's actually dark, like in the night, and the night shows its true color, it's dark. And when the sun comes, the dark becomes light because of that light. So I hope you get what I'm trying to say is that it's very interesting with this color, what we perceive, right? And what is the true color and what is not a color, and what is just being taught or explained or and another thing what I want to say is someone who sees, it's hard to show him the other way. And for those who are blind, it's really interesting how, you know, all those dots coming together like this in science, in the Bible, in our daily lives, how all these interrelated together. It's very, very, very interesting. So just swallow that when you go out in the daytime and you see everything nice blue, it's actually really dark. And then what another interesting thing is that I think a lot has to do with density. You know, the density of a material, of the density. Because if you if you put the colors out, which are the origin, it's only dark and light, the sun and the darkness. And darkness doesn't mean negative or evil or Satan or whatever. It has nothing to do with it. It's just darkness because it's dark, and it's light because it's light. So it's quite interesting. So here again, blue, red, purple, and violet is the same like dark, and dark is the same like blue, red, purple, and violet. And the light is, we gave it many names. It's white, yellow, green, and light is white, yellow, green, and green, yellow, white is light. And the interesting thing is, when you fragment, I go back now to the prism glass, when you diffract the light from the sun, when you split it, you see those colors, right? So it's very interesting. So thank you for watching. Hope to hear from you soon. Stay tuned.